Hello dear students, welcome to the second session of chapter number 11, Data Types, Operators and Expressions in a C language. In the part 1 we have discussed about the data types, means according to the data that we are inserting in our variables. So based on that the different data types are there, and that data types we have discussed in our part 1, and how much space it will occupy in the memory and what is the use of the data types that we have discussed. So now we will move forward in our chapter. So the basic data types, which were the basic data types that in a C language? 3 data types we have discussed as a basic data type: integer, character and float. Now in this chapter we will discuss more about the data types. That data types we have discussed, that is the inbuilt data type. So let's move forward here with our chapter. So now we will discuss about the user defined data type. Means before whatever we have discussed, that was the data type that is the basic data type of C language, that is used to store numbers and characters or fractional numbers. Now C is a flexible language and it allows user to create the new entities from the existing one. Okay, means based on the data type, based on the basic data types, user can create the new data types. So we can create a new data type by making use of our existing data type. So for that, two keywords are there, typedef and enum. So remember which keywords are used to create the user defined data type. So two keywords are there, typedef and enum. So it is used to create the user defined data type. In C, for generating user defined data type, both these keywords define a variable that can be used as a data type in our program. Means with the help of these keywords and with the help of our existing data types, we can create one of the variables, and then after that variables we can use as a data type in our program. So let's first see the type def, the first one type, and it is stands for type definition, and in short as a keyword it is used as a type def. So syntax of this type def data type is the first keyword type def, then after data type. Data type means any existing data type that we are already having among the basic data types like integer, float, character, anyone. And then after variable. So here what is there? Here in the C language, actually it will not allow you to create the new data type. But what we are doing over here, with the help of type def, we are giving alias name to our existing data type. Okay, means how we are having the pet names at our home. Okay, means our friends are calling us with the other name and our parents are calling us with the other name. So same as a pet name we are giving to our original data type. So here the data type refers to an existing data type, for example integer or float. Variable refers to a new name that we want to assign to the variable data type. In real sense, C does not allow us to create a new data type. Instead, it allows us to give an alias to an existing data type. In a normal life also we use aliases. So one example would be pet name of a person. So some example of type def are explained over here. So you just see the example, the first one statement. So type def is our keyword. Okay, so this keyword is used to create the data type based on the existing data type. Then after, at the place of data type, you just see first is the syntax. So type def is there, so type def is written. Now data types, the second one, object. So here as a data type we have used the character data type, char, and now the variable name we have given, that is alpha. Okay, and semicolon. So like this, now the character data type has another name that is known as a alpha. Okay, so now if you want to define any variable as a character data type, then instead of character you can use alpha and then variable name. That is possible. Okay, because both are similar only. Now the another name of character, that is alpha, that is given by you. Okay, so now in your variable you can define the character data types or character variable as a alpha name. Okay, with the alpha name. Then after type def, and now the data type is double and the variable name, that is twice. Okay, so this is about the user defined variable with the help of type def. So I hope you understood. Here you have to remember that we are not creating the new data type, but instead we are renaming our existing data type according to our wish. Okay, if I don't want to use character, then I will rename according to my name. Okay, or according to my wish. I will rename that existing data type according to my wish, and then after the renamed name I will use as a data type. So this is the concept about the type def. Now the next we will see, that is the enumerated data type, and in short it is known as a keyword enum. Okay, so the syntax of enum is enum first our keyword, then after identifier, or same as a variable. Okay, either you can say the identifier or you can say the variable. Then after, in the curly braces, value 1, value 2, value 3 till value n, and then after curly bracket over and semicolon. This is the syntax when you want to define new variable with the user defined data type enum. So here enum is a keyword, identifier is the name that can be used to define the new variable, in short it's a variable name, and value 1 to value n refers to the names of numeric constants, that is 0, 1, 2, etc. So here whatever the value you are giving, they are having the numeric constants. By default value is assigned to them, that is begins from the 0 to the numbers that you have given. Okay, so here the variable defined using enum can be assigned by numeric value or values given in the curly brackets. So here the variable defined using an enum, so in that value you can give either the numeric value or any other values, where you can give this value in this curly brackets. So here the variable name you have given as identifier, and the value will be stored in the curly braces. Okay, so here first we will see the example with the help of the syntax that is given here in the second line. So compare our example with the syntax. Okay, so first to define the data type we have to begin it with the enum keyword. So first write it down enum, then after identifier means as a variable we have written money, and then after in the curly braces there is written rupee, dollar, pound and yen. Okay, so now this rupee, dollar, pound and yen, these are the values of value 1, value 2, value 3 of our identifier money. Now we are using enum and variable name that is money and then currency. So here we have used that the next statement declares the variable currency of type money. So here the variable is the currency and that is the type of money. Okay. And then after currency is equals to dollar. So now in our currency variable we are storing the value dollar. Okay. So here dollar you just see rupee, dollar, pound and yen. So dollar is at the second position. So by default this constant value is already assigned to them. That is 0 to rupee, 1 to dollar, pound to yen, 2 to pound and 3 to yen. So here currency equals to dollar means currency is equals to 1. What is the dollar value? That is 1. So that we will see here with the example. You just see here the first statement that is enum money, then after in the curly braces rupee, dollar, pound and yen. So this first statement defines the enum data type money. So here we have declared the enum data type, enumerated data type money. Then after the next statement declares a variable currency of type money. So here first we have declared the data type and now with the help of that data type we have given the variable that is type of which data type, that is money. Okay. And the last statement that assigns the value dollar to currency and it is equivalent to currency is equals to 1. So here rupee, dollar, pound and yen refer to numeric constants 0, 1, 2 and 3 respectively. That I already told you. Okay, this is the by default value, as we said that whatever is values given in the curly braces, it has the constant value, numeric constant that begins from the 0. Now the numeric constants are assigned by the compiler automatically. Okay, that we are not giving, that is automatically given to the that variables by the compiler. Now it is possible to modify these values by using or by assigning new values. So here by default the value is stored, that is 0, 1, 2 and 3. If you want to change that value, then you have to assign the new values. So for example, if we want rupee to be equivalent to 10, dollar to be equivalent to 50, pound to be equivalent to 75 and yen to be equivalent to 100, then we may rewrite the first statement as enum, first keyword, then after money, and here only you just assign the value, start the curly bracket, then after rupee equals to 10, comma, dollar is equals to 50, pound is equals to 75 and yen is equals to 100. Then after curly bracket over and semicolon. So now the statement currency is equals to dollar would be the equivalent to currency equals to 50. So now instead of dollar, at the place of dollar, 1 is not there, but instead of 1, what will be the dollar value, that is 50. So this is the second type, second user defined data type, that is enum. So I hope you understood this enum data type. Then after the next concept is the derived data type. So this derived data type is the basic data types, that all the basic data types we have discussed, that is the character, float, double, long double, like this. Okay. Now some complexity is there with the basic data type. Okay. So here in the basic data type, some of the times that is very complex to work with them. So that is why some derived data types involved. That is based on our basic data types only. So there are 4 derived data type, that is array, structure, pointer and union. So these are the examples of derived data types. So you have to remember how many derived data types are there? 4: array, structure, union and pointer. So in the previous topics, C is an extensible language and the basic data type may suffice our needs in many cases, but it may not be appropriate to use them due to complexity involved. And say for the example we need to store grades of 15 students. In such cases we need to define 15 variables. Okay. So here when handling 15 variables may increase the complexity of the program. Similarly, if we need to store the complete information of a 15 students like the roll number, gender, name, address, then we may need the additional variables. And the grouping of variables may become a problem over here. Suppose you just see there is no only 15 students. If there are more students, suppose in the class if 30 students are there, then to write it down about their information you have to declare the 30 variables. Then after separately you have to give input for all the 30 variables. Means value we have to assign. Yes, what is the marks of the students. So it will take more time. So to avoid this complexity, based on with the help of our previous data types, our existing data types, we can use this derived data types, that is array, structure, union and pointers. And in this standard we are going to discuss about the array only. Okay, rest of 3 types that is out of the scope of our syllabus, and now we will get the brief information about the array. Then after in chapter number 15 we will discuss the about array in a detail, how to use that one. So now let's just discuss about the array. So array is a what? Array is a group of variable with the similar data type. Okay, in short you just remember like this, it is a group of variable with the similar data type. Okay, now you just assume that in my class 30 students are there and I want to write it down their roll numbers. I want to store the marks of each and every student, okay, in a program. Then separately I have to define the 30 variables. But here just by writing one line only I can store the values of 30 students together in the one variable only. So how it's possible? With the help of array. Because in the array we can store the group of variables together. But remember the condition over here that is it must belongs to the same data type. Suppose one variable is of integer and one variable is of float, then it's not possible. Okay, all the variables that must be of a same data type, then only we can use the array to resolve that complexity. So what is the syntax of array? Syntax is very important, student, because syntax is the just like a grammar. Okay, if in the grammar some of the sentence is there, how to write the past tense. Okay, so past tense has a proper format. Okay, it has the rules that in the past forms we have to write down like this only. Okay, we have to use this word only in the past tense. So same as here in C language also, each and every new concept has its own syntax, and in that way only you have to use them. Okay, so here the syntax is data type. Data type means our basic data types, that is integer, float or character. Then after variable name, that is according to your wish, and then after size. So here size is the main advantage. Okay, in the size I will give, suppose if I want to store the 30 students, then here in the size I will give the 30. So now you just see, just by writing one line only I have created the 30 variables together. Okay, So here data type can be any basic data type, user defined data type or derived data type. Okay, you can use the derived data type as well here, and user defined data type also, just like a enum or a typedef. So variable is the name of array and size refers to the number of elements in the array. So for example, C statement character. Okay, so character, char, character is the data type. Now name of subject, this is our variable name, and size is a 10 over here. So as you all know, we have discussed the character data type, and what is the memory space of character data type? 1 only, means it can store only one character. But here you just see we have created the array of a character data type, and now as a size we have provided 10, means now I am able to store the values or to store the character that has the maximum 10 alphabets. Okay, so now I can store the string that has the 10 alphabets. So here it would define an array called name of a subject having size 10. This means that it is the possible to store group of 10 characters and identify it by using variable name of subject. So data type of each element here would be the character data type. Okay. So it is also possible to have a statement like character, name of subject, and then after simple square bracket. We are not providing any size over here. And directly we are, instead of providing the size, here I am giving my value. Okay. So equal, I am assigning to the value directly to the variable. Okay, instead of giving size. So equal, and then after when you are storing the value for the character data type, it must be, if it is a string, that must be included in the double quotation mark. So then after I am writing the C language over here. So now the compiler will automatically decide the length of the array based on the value you have given. Okay, and here the length of the array is 11 because the blank space also will be considered as a one character. So here about the array we will discuss in a detail in our chapter number 15. So basically now just you have to remember that array is what? Array is a group of variable with the similar data type, and that will reduce the size of our program. So this is about the array. So array is a which type of data type? Array is a derived data type. And rest of the data type, that is structure, union and pointer, that is the out of the scope of this book. Means if you will further go in the study in the computer field, then you will learn this type of data type, that is structure, union and pointer. So I hope you understood about the array data type. Then after, the next topic is the operators and the expression. Okay. So when learning the basic mathematics in the school, we have performed the operation like addition of two numbers, subtraction of two numbers. Yes. So here when we are working with the computer, okay, so this type of process we are giving to the computer. So for example, 5 plus 3 and 9 minus 7. So here 5, 3, 9 and 7, these are the constant value. Okay, and plus and minus are the symbols. So that identify the operations to be performed on the constants. Means here you can see between this constant value the minus or plus sign is there, and that these symbols will decide what we are going to perform on these constant values. Okay, so here the 5 and 3 is known as the operands. Remember students, the value that you are giving is known as the operands, and here in between what is the symbol you are using to do the process on it, it is known as a operator. Okay, so when you are working with the operators, two things you have to use, that is on both the sides the operands will be there, and at the center the operator will be there. So an operator is a symbol that identifies the operation that can be performed on a operands. So the operators in a C can be categorized into 8 types as mentioned. So here you can see the operators that is divided into the 8 categories. So the first one is the arithmetic operator, then after assignment operator, then after relational operator, third one. Fourth is the increment and decrement operator, conditional operator. Sixth one is a logical operator. Then after seventh is a bitwise operator, and then after 8 is the special operator. So these 8 types of operators are there in the C language: arithmetic operator, assignment operator, relational operator, increment and decrement operator, conditional operators, logical operator, bitwise operators, and special operators. Now these all the operators we will discuss in the detail in our new session, in our next session. So till this, whatever we have discussed in this session, I hope you understood it well. We have discussed in this session, that is the user defined data type, two user defined data type, that is typedef and enum. And then after we have discussed the derived data type, that is array. And then we have discussed the operators, that is 8 type of operators, that is the category of operator we have seen over here. So I hope you understood it well. Thank you students.